Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. So it's going to be on the Fire Fist archetype, their new support, and by the title, I am slightly disappointed in the support they were given. It did have the potential to be good, just a lot of effects were overprotective of how the archetype worked. So I'll be talking about that in this video. I'll be going over the effects of the cards, and then just have a other section where I just kind of talk about everything that they really have and how the new support helps or doesn't properly function how it kind of wants to within archetype. But that being said, let's get right into the video. So starting off with the effects, we have the monsters that were introduced. So the first one is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Panda. It is a level 5 fire monster, beast warrior effect like all of them. It has 2100 attack and 400 defense. So its effect, if you activate a fire formation spell and trap card, except during damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, then special summon one Fire Fist monster from your graveyard, except itself. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn, except Fire Fist monsters. And if a Fire Fist monsters you control will be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can send one face-up fire formation spell and trap you control to the graveyard instead. You can only use each effect of Brotherhood of Fire Fist Panda once per turn. So this seems pretty good. You know, summons itself, summons a Fire Fist from grave. The only time a Fire Fist formation would activate during damage step is if you use the one that makes you gain 700. That is generally not going to be a problem because you wouldn't want to do that. Just because if you did activate it at, I don't know, attack declaration, you would summon and then they would lose their battle target and they would have to redeclare. So kind of, you know, not works for that card, but that's not the problem. It is a problem that it locks you into Fire Fist monsters. The deck already has a good amount of restrictions as it is already. To be locked into Fire Fist does conflict with one of the other supports they get in here, and I'll kind of explain it once we get to that part of the video. Now we have Brother of the Fire Fist Elephant, a level 4 fire beast warrior effect, 1000 attack, 1800 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one face-up fire formation spell trap you control to the graveyard, special Fire Fist monster from your hand except itself. Second effect, you can target one fire formation spell and trap in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then you can add one level 5 or higher Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So again, this is pretty good. It's a little reliant on having a fire formation, which can be a problem. Well, not really. In theory, it isn't a problem because you can run so many. So a lot of people who do have, you know, it will be perfectly fine. But personally, I just never open a fire formation when I play Fire Fist online, so that kind of infuriates me. So, very good, but resolving it has been very harsh against me for some reason. And to shuffle a fire formation that you can send yourself and add level 5, which will, you know, be Panda since it's the best one. Because if you link this off, you can just kind of revive this back for extra material. No, this works well. So this card, one of the really good ones, still a bit reliant, whatever. Then we have Brotherhood of Fire Fist Ram, a level 3 fire beast warrior effect with 800 attack, 200 defense. Rekindling target because yeah, we don't have that much, so you know, whatever. When this card is normal summoned, you can discard one card, then target one fire formation you control. Set a other one with a different name directly from deck. If this card is special summoned by an effect of a Fire Fist monster, you can set one fire formation spell trap directly from your deck with a different name from the cards in your graveyard, and you can only use each effect once per turn. So this one also a bit reliant when you do have the normal summon. Still, it's whatever. It's a little bit worse than Panda, but it does have a special summon effect, which is also very useful, which will be pretty good when you're able to revive it with certain things in the archetype. So this card definitely is pretty good. I think we're on to the Link monsters. So yes, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Eagle is a fire Link 2, Beast Warrior Link effect, 17 attack, 2 Beast Warrior monsters to make. You can only special summon one of these cards per turn. You can activate Fire Fist monster effects without sending Fire Fist or Fire Formation cards from your hand or field to the graveyard. You can target one Fire Formation spell trap you control, or in your graveyard, return it to your hand, then summon one Fire Formation from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use each of this effect once per turn. So this is probably the best support they really did get. Being able to send things like for free. You just don't have to send them. You can just be like, yeah, no, I'll just do this effect. So, of course, when it dumps, if you do know, it's a Buffalo, and that would have to send 2 Fire Formations to summon it from graveyard. But, of course, you're not stuck with that stipulation since this pays for the cost, and it pays it every single time you do want to do it. As long as it's on the field, you are good. So, very useful. It lets a lot of things just kind of do whatever they need to without really having to worry about card advantage. So it's pretty nice, and you can choose not to for some reason. Let's say you want it in the graveyard for some reason because you need it for a certain effect. You can do that. Then there's Brotherhood of Fire Fist Peacock. A Fire Link 2, Beast Warrior Link effect monster. 1000 attack, 2 Fire Fist monsters. While this card points to a Fire Fist monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. When this card declares an attack, you can summon one face-up Fire Formation spell trap you control to the graveyard. Target one monster your opponent controls. Place that opponent's monster in the zone this card points to it, but take control of it till the end phase. But you cannot declare attack this turn. The thing you seal. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. As you see, people are like, oh, it's Borreload. It really isn't. You know, it steals it, it gives it back immediately, and by how the archetype works, you know, you're giving it back. Unlike Widowmaker, where you may be able to link it off, but I'll talk about that later. Then we have Brother of Fire Fist Swan, a fusion. Yes, the greatest disappointment. Level 5 Fire, Beast Warrior Fusion effect, 26, 22, 2 Beast Warrior monsters. If this card is special summon, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Fire Formation spell trap you control. During battle phase, quick effect, send a Fire Formation spell trap you control to the graveyard, target one card your opponent controls. Destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. It's a fusion that you have to giant for, but fusion summoning it still sucks. And then there's Brotherhood of Fire Fist Eland, level 6 Fire Beast Warrior Ritual effect. Yeah, it sounds pretty bad. With 24,000, not 24,000, 2,400 and 2,000 defense. You can ritual summon this card using Fire Formation Dome. You can discard one monster, set a Fire Formation directly from deck or graveyard. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, send one face-up Fire Formation you control to the graveyard, sack this card, negate that effect. You can only use this effect of this once per turn. So it's a negate. It only negates it, it doesn't destroy it. Just keep that in mind, and sure, you can get the sending for costs mitigated, but you have to set this up. That's the kind of big problem. With that, we'll be going on to the 3 spells and traps that we got. Oh, now 4. Fire Fortress, atop of Liang Peak, a field spell. It's treated as a Fire Formation card. Each time a Fire Fist monster is normal special summon, place one Fire Fist counter on this card. No, it's not Gateway of the Six. Don't worry, it ain't that broken. Once per turn, you can remove a Fire Fist counter from your field to activate one of these effects. If your Beast Warrior attacks this turn, you cannot activate cards or effects until end damage step, an effect nobody really cares for. 6, add one Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. A little bit too much, so you can't rely to combo on it. And then 10, special one Beast Warrior monster from deck or extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions. If you're wondering if there's any great targets for this, what is it? Gladiator Beast, the one that, provides a negate. It's a pretty good target to summon off of it. But getting to 10 summons will be kind of hard. This does have to stick on field for a whole other turn and be able to have combo pieces in hand for both those turns. So this is not that good in that sense. Then there's Fire Formation Dome, continuous spell. When this card is activated, you can ritual summon one Beast Warrior ritual monster from your hand by tributing most monsters from your hand and field, so a level equals its level. If this face-up card leaves field, you can target one Fire Fist monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. You can only use each effect once per turn. You can only activate one of this card per turn. And there's Fire Formation Ingen, continuous spell. When this card is activated, you can fusion someone Beast Warrior or fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters in hand and field as fusion material. If this card face up leaves the field, send a spell trap zone to the graveyard. You can target one Fire Fist monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. You can only activate one of itself per turn. It's the fusion spell. The fusion sucks ass. It's literally only good against a super poly against your deck. I'll get up into that in the analysis part, but for the last card, just to finish this off, we have Ultimate Fire Formation Sinto, a counter trap, where when a spell trap card is activated while you control a Fire Fist and a Fire Formation spell trap in spell trap, negate the activation if you do destroy it. You can only activate one of these cards per turn. Alright, so that's all the effects. Now it's time to get into my opinion on how the archetype really was able to kind of evolve and why I feel it was very much hindered by, its overprotective effects. So for my final opinion on the whole thing, there's a bit too many stipulations that really kind of bared this archetype down. Now, Peacock would have been really good if we didn't have Panda. That locks you into Fire Fist. It's like they didn't think it out. If you're going to be extending far enough that you're going to make Eagle and Peacock, you are definitely using Panda somewhere in it. Let's be honest. Fire Fists, they're not that amazing on their own, so you're going to need to use Panda. But if you use Panda, you now can't special summon anything besides Fire Fist, which means you can't link off, let's say, the thing you stole in Peacock into something, like maybe a Nightmare Phoenix to just pop a card for free. I don't know. But that is kind of an overlook on that part. But then there's just a lot of stuff that really doesn't work with the old stuff. And let's say Horse Prince. That lets you special summon a level 3, which let you do a lot of stuff with Rooster, which was kind of the thing I really like to do with the deck. But the thing is, it locked you into everything under level 4. So you couldn't summon anything level 5. It means you wouldn't be able to make it synchro multiple times. I think that's why they didn't put once per turn on it, because you wouldn't be able to summon other Horse Prince. So, now you can't, if you want to use Horse Prince in your combo, you now can't use Panda. You can see how there's a problem there. I don't know if it's after the effect resolves that you can't special level 5 or higher. Either way, it's a bit of a reach that you're going to be making through, like, get the Panda. Like, often when you get the Panda, it's probably going to be with the Elephant search. And by that time, you're kind of going through, like, the Eagle, and you're not really summoning Horse Prince because you didn't get the stuff to do so. Because Horse Prince is pretty early combo within a Fire Fist deck. So, that's kind of an underlook. Thank the Lord Eagle's out. That does really help a lot of the strategy. But I feel there was a lot of ways to support. Of course, the fusion. It sucks ass. There's no reason to summon it. It's a Trident at best. And, like, it's a very sucky Trident. What does it need to do? Attack? What? Dream Mirrors has a better Trident than that. It's like... It's really bad, honestly. It's such a bad card. It just, if Fire Fist wanted to be good, well, now you literally have a super poly target you literally made. And it's like, okay, really? Then there's a Ritual. Its cost is just too high, especially since the thing the fusion summoned it with. Technically, it's searchable by the archetype's needs, but are you going to be able to search all the things that you will need, like the Tenki and the Tensu? And at the same time be able to get the Dome, have the 2 monsters on field, and then have the Ritual in hand. I'm not sure about that. And for it to only set up 1 negate is honestly kind of sad. Sure, sending and being able to revive with the card, pretty good, I'll admit. But I'd rather have fire formations that actually did something like Tenki and Tensu. I'd just rather have fire formations in that kind of sense. So I feel 4 of the support immediately sucked. Dragon became good because of the counter trap. They could have made it monsters. They could have made it a crescendo pretty much. But they didn't. It's still pretty good. to have backed up, but it doesn't help just because that card is not backing up your field in the slightest. With everything else that you have, yeah, it's not backing it up. Like, you're going to be playing about 2014 level Yu-Gi-Oh! To make, like, this deck actually good. You know, there's just a lot of stuff that's underlooked. A lot of weaknesses, like, you definitely need your fire formations. If you don't open it, you're sitting on literally nothing. You are saying pass. And you're not a mana strategy, so you are dead. If you literally do not open a fire formation, you are done for. Think about that. Technically, if you opened all fire formations, you're also done for, but, like, yeah, we don't have to worry about that. You know, it just has a lot of, like, consistency problems it really didn't need either. Again, I did play this strategy online for a while because I was very hyped. I do have a lot of nostalgia towards the XYZ that negates the whole board. It does give fond memories of, you know, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Less competitively with that, like, one friend in middle school, you know. So I wanted to see this support become really good, but it just is underwhelming, especially for all the confliction that is really in there. It just does not provide enough to really do anything. It barely puts on game. I think Panda is definitely a big problem because Panda really sets up you to combo off a lot, but it locks you into Fire Fist, which will ultimately give you nothing in return. Sure, negating the field is nice, but you don't have any bodies that really get over anything. The fusion does, but fusion you don't want to summon because it is actual ass. But, you know, deck's still good if you want to play mirrors of it. It's a pretty fun mirror, besides for when you brick, you know. So that's kind of interesting. If you want to play Brotherhood of Fire Fist mirrors, yeah, that's fun. It's enjoyable. But that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys liked and enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you did enjoy. I also have a Discord server where I post updates about what's happening, give previews to what content I'll be releasing, and make exclusive videos for you guys. So if you have the time, you can go check that out, link in the description. Thank you.